Why the fuck is your only bit kidnapping me?
Shut the fuck up and put a shirt on.
You've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Oh my.
Welcome back, one and all, to the year of the auteur, on this year's very special, not so annual episode of Listmas in July. Tony, one of the most famous aspects of auteurs and auteur filmmaking are the struggles to work within the very rigid rules of the Hollywood system and the producers that oftentimes come with it. People like Stanley Kubrick, Martin Scorsese, Orson Welles, and even Zack Snyder all have struggled to get their full vision across. Nowhere is there a more famous story of this than the film we are watching today. I'm happy to say the director himself came out on the other side with not just a completed film, but one that entirely ended up being his vision. Now, Tony, after going to an ancient tomb on my last episode, we had like a little bit of a thing. This bag's been a little weird.
It has been a bit strange.
You've seen like the gas seeping from my room a couple times.
I've seen the green gas. I've seen the vague forms.
We had our landlord inspect the apartments, and they like threatened to evict us unless we got rid of the sack. So I hid it in the dumpster for a few days, but it's back. Now I'm gonna open this. I hope none of the gas like leaks out again, because I'm honest to God like really scared.
Okay.
Okay, it's gone.
Don't fucking wave it at me.
I'm going to wave it at you. 'Cause that's, oh God. Okay. The fumes are off. Go ahead and just check inside the film sack.
Oh God.
I promise this 4K is not toxic.
Alright. We're busting. What's a 4K? It's Brazil, baby.
Yes. Today we are watching Terry Gilliam's 1985 dystopian classic and my third favorite film of all time, Brazil. This was Terry Gilliam's fourth feature film, if you count his collaboration with the Pythons on his first film, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. After this, Gilliam's solo feature debut, The Jabberwocky, was both a critical and financial disaster. From personal experience, I can tell you, it's dog shit. After this, he went on to direct Time Bandits, a fun and hugely creative sci-fi fantasy romp that I don't think properly conveys the sheer amount of talent that was actually up Gilliam's sleeve at that point in time. Gilliam would start the journey making Brazil with a pitch to Universal for a quasi-reimagining of 1984, a book he had never actually read. When eventually getting it greenlit, he faced continuous hurdles from the studio with their concerns over stuff like a complex narrative and what they viewed as an ending that was far too depressing for mainstream audiences to be able to handle. Gilliam would go on to make the film he wanted to during production, but would deal with endless trouble during the post-production process, with studio notes and endless problems, such as all of this culminating in this movie having 3 cuts initially. One titled the Love Conquers All cut, designed for when it would end up screening on cable and would have a much more happy, cheerful ending. This would also gut the film's final hour and ending. The American cut, which had 10 minutes removed over the course of the film to remove a lot more dark elements. This was Universal mandated, as I obviously said. This had a different distributor when it was over in the UK and Europe. And then there is the European cut, which is the movie we are watching today. This is widely considered the superior one, and the chosen cut by director Terry Gilliam. It is his director's cut, as he views it. This version comes out to 142 minutes.
42, God, alright.
It's a very, very fucking long movie. This film stars Jonathan Pryce and Kim Geist as our fantastic leads. Jonathan Pryce, you may vaguely remember as Elizabeth Swann's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean. In smaller supporting roles, we have such wonderful character actors as Ian Holm, Bob Hoskins, and a little, like, obscure indie actor. You may have never heard of him. His name is Robert De Niro. The music is composed by a man named Michael Kamen, composer of such movies as Die Hard, The Iron Giant, and X-Men 1 and X-Men 2.
Okay.
Samplings of music that inspired the movie's tone and sounds are used from Brazilian composer Ari Bassaro. Additionally, the song Brazil, the film's main theme and what inspired the movie's title, was a previously established song by both Jeff and Maria Mudouar, I believe is how it's pronounced. Tony, what do you know about this film aside from obviously what I've told you?
So Brazil is one of these ones that Colin has said, it's my favorite movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you one day. And I was always like, I'll respect you and like not look at this thing. It's relatively easy enough because it's a bit of an older film, and you know, it's not like tons of iconography for this has been spoiled for me. I think I've seen on the back like a fucked up face that gets all stretched out on a like skin stretched out thing.
No context for that, people. But that's know what the fuck that's from.
But that's about that. That's about it.
Yeah.
This could be really just about anything,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm willing to just jump into it. I'm willing to get into a dark mood today.
I'm
Here in Christmas.
Yes. No. That is a big thing with this. This film is set during the Christmas season. It's another one where I haven't heard much argument of whether or not it's a Christmas movie. It's one that I think has a Christmassy vibe, especially in its opening scene, which we will get to. It's probably one of the best tone setters in the history of Hollywood cinema. It's really fucked up. Anyways, with that, why don't you go ahead and fill out some paperwork, fill out some forms, hope to God that a fly doesn't fly into your paperwork machine and get you sent off to death row as we go ahead and watch Brazil.
The rules of the game are laid down. We all have to play by them.
Look at you, Sam. Whatever happened to you?
An empty desk is an efficient desk.
Let a friend tell you. Your life is going wrong.
Now shape up!
Do cooperate. Think of your mother.
Has anybody seen Sam Lowry?
Sam, it's time for you to grow up and accept responsibility.
You'll never get anywhere in a suit like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sam, what are we going to do with you?
You must have hopes, wishes, dreams.
No, nothing. Not even dreams. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I want. You won't believe this. I know it's going to sound incredible, but I've been dreaming about you. I mean, I love you. In my dreams, I love you.
We've always been close, haven't we?
Yes, Jack?
Well, until this all blows over, just stay away from me.
All right, Tony, now that we have filled out all of our paperwork, gotten everything in order, and seemingly avoided any kind of criminal or terrorist activity, Tony, could you please give us a brief plot synopsis of the film directed by Terry Gilliam, Brazil.
A somewhat lower down, non-executive type man is dragged into a sort of comedy of errors in a black comedy sort of sense, in which he, one thing after another, gets dragged into what his higher-ups believe to be a huge terrorist cell.
Bloody paperwork.
He finds people in the real world, seemingly for the first time, or for first time in a very long time, and has to deal with real human consequences to things that he's done, paperwork that he's filed, and things that have just kind of happened as a matter of happenstance.
What have you done with his body?
There are terrorist attacks all over the place, but it's unclear whether it's just terrible technology failing, or if it's manufactured by the government that he's fighting against, or if it's just dumb luck, right? He takes interest in a girl that he's seen in his dreams, or he believes that he's seen in his dreams, and he decides, I need to stick it out and help you escape from the big bad evil government. And then he goes to his boss's office, he deletes her, and then everything's fine. They go out into a farm building, and there's no
Tony.
further...
He's got away from us, Jack.
I think you're talking about the Love Conquers All ending.
Oh, okay. Right, the
Yeah.
one that they saved for us silly Americans. Right, you were telling me about
No.
this.
That was on the television broadcast version. They played. The American cut, I'm still not exactly sure all what was cut out. I'll be 100% honest, because this is the only version I've actually seen like in full.
If I were to guess, it would probably be, they bring it up to the ending. There's that scene where he's flying with the girl, and then they make love.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like one more conflict thing that happens, maybe him being dragged away, and somehow it concludes with her driving away with him in the bus.
Maybe you should, finish what the actual ending of the film is.
Oh, the actual ending of the film is our boy gets strapped into a chair after being processed by
Jack.
Yeah.
His friend, Jack.
You stupid bastard.
The information gathering is just giving the dude a fucking lobotomy and scooping his brains out. And when they find nothing, they just say, I guess he's gone. Oh well. And he's trash. Goodbye. Don't fucking sing that tune at me. Don't give me hope.
Shouldn't give you hope. It should give you ominous pain and suffering, as I cried at the end of this movie after watching it for like a 5th or 6th time. Tony, with all that being said, what did you think of Brazil? How'd you feel about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you think it was trash? Did you think it was overrated garbage? You said one of these movies are going to be like that, and you always were like, wouldn't it be funny if like one of your favorite movies I thought was terrible?
I just made a fucking 4-hour-long video about, I think it's terrible. We come back for 3 other sessions. I am not done with you. No.
I'm done with you. What did you think of it, Tony?
It was good. It was very good. It's beautiful. Let's start with it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just stuff being made. It's like very, very, things that are made for the bulk of the movie are very claustrophobic and very like close together in small rooms and trash.
Yeah.
So when big things happen, like that big wide open fucking fuck you, everything's on fire field that's surrounded by the little gates that block your view of the outside world, right?
Yeah. They're billboards. That's the best part. They're advertisements.
Let's say that things in this place don't look great.
Yeah.
They fucking put tile and crap onto tubes.
They're wallpaper of tile and crap.
It's not even real tile. It's just wallpaper.
It's all wallpaper. That's their new invention. Is we're putting wallpaper to make the industrial place feel more homey and feel more 1950s and nice.
Do your ducts seem old-fashioned? out of date. Central Services' new duct designs are now available in hundreds of different colors to suit your individual taste.
This is the perfect example of like my aesthetic tastes. I would never want to live here in my life, and that's why it's beautiful. The aesthetic of dystopia is my favorite thing to do on model making, because I brought up on the show before, I am a hobbyist model maker. I like doing it for filmmaking projects. I love the old-fashioned, just, you know, making shit with your hands out of garbage. And this just is filled to the brim with that. And when it is beautiful, for the sake of actually being beautiful, it is so fantastical that it doesn't feel real. When you're flying through those clouds with those angel wings and shit in these big fantasy sequences, it's quickly interrupted by an alarm clock or phone. The first thing I guess I would like to talk about, that's not necessarily a question, is how this relates to 1984. As I brought up in the introduction, Terry Gilliam has never read George Orwell's 1984. I read 1984 in high school. In preparation for this at the beginning of this year, I told you about this. I was reading the book. Because you didn't have any connection. I reread 1984, and I also listened to a very, very good condensed audio play version of it on Audible, Amazon. But Andrew Garfield is the lead actor playing our main character in it. And the big difference between 1984 and this is 1984 was written at a point where 1984 was like a dystopian future year that we could look at. It is sort of looking at the old school analog version of a dystopian future and taking a lot of those problems from the era the book was written in, which I think was around like World War II, and sort of viewing it like, what would this hellish future look like? And they were looking at it through the lens of like Nazi Germany and all this other shit. And it's great. It's awesome for that. I think a lot of the core messages are the same, whether or not he's read the book. Gilliam, I think, fundamentally understands the core of the lessons from that. But what he does in adaptation with this that I find so fascinating is Gilliam takes the idea of that story and places it squarely on, when I am writing this script, what are the problems I have with modern politics and how that's integrated with capitalism and business, and specifically the big B, bureaucracy.
There. Thank you. Same again, please. Just there. Press harder this time. Good.
Oh, what this is all about.
That is your receipt for your husband. Thank you. And this is my receipt for your receipt.
Bureaucracy and technology was Gilliam's biggest fear as far as, like, you know, being the thing that's going to destroy the future. And while it could be considered a bit of a boomer mindset, I don't think it ever comes off as that he's just afraid of computers. I think he is just afraid of people becoming so ineffective in their own day-to-day life that they rely upon machines that themselves are ineffective.
Yeah.
And like the catalyst for this movie's plot is entirely built around a machine breaking down and causing someone to get killed.
Which is something that you have to just imagine happens over and over and over and over again in this world, in this fucking hellscape that we're living in.
And real life. That's
it's just a death by convenience that people are just like, it's easier to sit around and do a whole lot of fucking nothing than to like say or help anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier for your waiter to come and bring a little decorative wall to block off the nightmares and horrors behind you.
Sam, you haven't had your dessert.
For myself, something I guess I find utterly fascinating is sort of a common thematic thread between these two versions of the story is seemingly at the base of them, it talks about sort of like the one human thing we can do that fascism cannot take away from us, and that is sexual intimacy. At the core, in 1984, sort of the biggest act of rebellion that Big Brother cannot see these people committing. You know, it's consuming real food that they were able to steal from this conglomerate government that's overwatching them, and, you know, be together. But the biggest thing is they find a hotel room, like, that they rent out of the top of this, like, retro pawn shop, ostensibly, and they fuck. And that is sort of seen as this big act of, like, you can't take this away from us. You can't take the 1-2 ways that human beings can be as close as possible and no one can watch us. And to me, okay, then what is our main character's motivating factor? He sees this woman in his dreams, but at the core of that, he's horny.
You won't believe this, and I know it's going to sound incredible, but I've been dreaming about you.
It's a bit, on the nose and maybe like a bit pig-headish. But he's horny, but like it's not in this like gross kind of way. Like it could easily come off with that, and very clearly comes off as that to Jill, our main character, when they first meet. That this is just some weird fucking finance guy who's just trying to get in my pants.
I just don't deserve such terrific luck.
Damn right.
But he very sincerely loves this woman because he's seen her every night in his dreams, and it's the one human being that has kept him company in a completely realistic to how this world operates kind of way.
You know what I mean? Escapist sort of area of his mind, right?
Which then kind of ties into this whole thing of like, okay, then the revolution, is this just escapism for him? And if that is the case, if this is just escapism for him, is he kind of a piece of shit?
It's one of those things where I think that once again, it's this government is watching everybody and watching everything and is constantly gathering information, but we're shown just how fucking incredibly easy it is for anything at all to break down.
Yeah.
So I believe that there probably is no big insurrection, that there is no big fucking whatever the hell.
And that's another thing from 1984. They constantly talk about like, oh, we have the war going on overseas. We finally are. We're getting close. The war is gonna end soon. And then immediately they just say something else. Yeah. And all of a sudden people conveniently forget about the thing they heard 2 days ago. Yeah. Because they're so brainwashed.
It's just fucking, it's a breakdown. The revolutionaries in this movie, if there are any, are just people that like say, fuck it, let me help in any way that I possibly can. Yeah. And, that's dangerous to a government that needs and wants constant fucking control over everything.
Yeah.
Found it. There's your problem. Can you fix it? No, I can't. But I can bypass it with one of these.
It shows just how impotent the government is.
Yeah.
And therefore how easy it would be to just kind of shove it over and get to fixing things on your own.
Yeah.
So you can't let people do that. So for the better of the empire, we must smite thee.
Yes. And then, it's like, you talk about real world examples of that. It's like, okay, when was Malcolm X assassinated by people? We don't know who did it. No. When was Malcolm X assassinated? Not when he was, as the media portrayed him as, a militant black man who's trying to say how much he hates the whites. Da-da-da-da-da. No, it's when he came back from Mecca and suddenly had this realization that, white capitalism is evil and awful, but we're not going to get anywhere until we start, like, collaborating and truly bring down this tyrannical government. Oh, we have to stop you now, because you could actually, cause change. It's one of those fucking things where real change just comes when you open up your fucking heart and realize that the problem are those above and not your fellow man.
You got to understand that the people with all the money and the power and the everything are going to use all the money and the power and the anything to stop you from recognizing that it is them that have all the power and the money and the everything, and therefore are the problem.
Yeah. And then what ends up becoming so fascinating about that whole thing where I was talking about like sexual liberation, what was the entire hippie movement about?
Just fucking...
Literally sexual liberation. We have liberation over our bodies, and within a capitalist government system, the 1950s, sexuality was deemed biblically ordained as evil by God.
Yeah.
So what, as human beings, not as people who, worship this like fictional god that capitalism has created, what can we do to fucking be against that? We can fuck whoever we want.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Oh, yeah, no. And then, of course, the the fucking government finds out about this within the story of 1984 and seemingly literally in the bedroom of these two lovers in Brazil. And they get them there almost like as this government's punishment for coitus. Like,
how dare you find connection with other human beings?
Yeah.
We gave you so many opportunities to buy things. We got a new magnifying glass for your 7-inch TV.
What do you mean you're happy with each other?
No, come on, we got new wallpaper.
Yeah.
This is gonna affect your credit score. Something fierce.
Yeah.
Don't fight it, son. Confess quickly. If you hold out too long, you could jeopardize your credit rating.
And real quick, the next thing I guess I want to talk about is authorship. Thing this whole year is about, and Terry Gilliam. I told you, it's like, you had Monty Python, The Holy Grail, which he co-directed, and even then, I'm not sure how much of that was like him directing the movie behind the camera normally, or the animated segments, because that's what he did on Monty Python's Flying Circus. He was in charge of all the animated stuff, so I don't know what his involvement like that was.
And it was difficult when we did Holy Grail, because it was two directors, it was Terry Jones and myself, and we eventually agreed to split the work. He would talk to the others in the group because I got fed up with it, talking to them. And I would stay back with the camera and make sure it looked good.
But with this, it's like he then did the Jabberwocky, as I said, and it's a bad movie. Right. It's a really bad movie. It just kind of takes what Monty Python was, which is a farce, tries to apply legitimate critique to it, but as a result, it's just kind of like miserable. It tries to do this whole realistic portrayal of like medieval times. It's just kind of gross to watch. But they're trying to still act like it's simultaneously whimsical, and it's not about anything. All the characters are just fucking, not even just that they're unlikable. It's just there's nothing about them that like is compelling to watch. Yeah. And Time Bandits is sort of like the first time that Gilliam realized the power of whimsy. Oh yeah. Time Bandits is great. It's like about a bunch of little people who are all like, labeled themselves as the Time Bandits, and they time travel and like kidnap a child and like go through wacky adventures. It's a children's film. It's great.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Because you're explaining it in a very grimdark sort of way.
It's not. It's all played like it's like a fairy tale.
That just various folks come from a time portal and fucking...
Yeah. So, you then look at Gilliam, and you kind of look at, like, the film industry he was starting to come up in within the 80s, and you kind of realize, like, how that probably would have shaped this sort of, like, anarchist, sort of, like, chaotic vibe that he wants to put off with, and the kind of stuff that he hates, and the kind of things he would want to make movies against. But those are also the people that are giving you money. So, of course, there are no stories, as far as I'm aware. If there are, talk about it in the comments. Boost our engagement up, motherfucker.
Press the like button, press the subscribe button. Hit the buttons that light up when you hit the buttons.
But, he goes and he then is making movies for these people that are seemingly who he's making movies against. He's preaching a message against the people that are giving him the money. So obviously the problems are not with the people he's making the movies with, but the people who are funding it. So consistently his struggle was with producers. He has a movie that he's making that has a very sincere message that's very anti-capitalist, anti-all this shit, anti-establishment, but the establishment are the people making him money. So obviously his authorship, with him being sort of this rebel against the system, is only going to get pushed harder, because that's what you do against the man. So the fact then that they gave him this fucking massive budget to make this movie scale that fucking huge, it's just confusing to me. Are these executives just that blind?
Maybe they're just very easily tricked, and he just kind of like jukes them out of it. Like, it made them think he was making a very different movie for long enough that he could get most of what he needed.
I think he said he pitched this to them at some festival or event, and they were all very drunk, and he was very drunk. And they initially said no. Yeah. Then after enough pushing on them, they said yes. So I don't know. That's very interesting, but I think it is just very clear, under his authorship, you could recognize this without having seen a Gilliam movie, what a Gilliam movie looks like now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, it's just very wide-angle lenses. high contrasty shadows, shit that I really fucking love, and I have just mercilessly copied in my own work. Just, you know, when lots of desaturated color palettes until the color comes in, and then it's hyper fucking saturated. Just to sort of show this, like, big contrast between fantasy and reality being portrayed as this, like, awful, hellish fucking thing. And on the 4K transfer, which you guys won't get to see footage of here on here because we're too cheap, you sort of see a lot of, like, the uses of, like, very white kind of halogen-looking bulbs whenever they're in these office environments. And those look super filmic. Just the way that they're fucking, like, projected onto their faces and, like, highlight everything. And then you see, like, a white window in the background. It just has a nice organic quality to it. This new transfer never feels like super digitized or fucked with. I'd highly recommend it. It's very fucking good. What did you think of, like, the camera work and the general aesthetic of this movie?
If I were to describe it, I'd say it's like 75% of what Moulin Rouge is doing with like insane camera movements and like speeding up and slowing down and pulling way fucking back only to push way back in.
Yeah, no, I'd say that fucking Baz Luhrmann probably takes a lot from Terry Gilliam. Yeah.
You've been stuck pretty much, except into the Dreamland, and even in parts of the Dreamland when he has to like fight monsters, you're kind of stuck in like very narrow corridors and like small shopping centers and whatever, and everyone's kind of tightly packed together and so on and so forth. But then they say, all right, whomp, and just drive you all the way back to the wall.
It's like they had the guy pulling the dolly cart. You have to sprint.
And we're still going to have to speed this shit up in post, bro.
And it looks fucking great. Like, it's very over the top, but, like, once again, never feeling like, I don't know, in your face kind of stupid. Like, I do want to bring this up pretty quickly. Terry Gilliam, I think, is one of the most influential filmmakers of all time on satirists, and this will get into my next point. I think satire is very difficult to pull off well, but everyone seems to like doing it, so we have a lot of really shitty satire. And this goes for both sides of the political aisle, because I think even satire I agree with can be really shit and ham-fisted. Spencer, friend of the show, once again, same picture here of him looking morbidly depressed. His twin brother, Connor, watched this movie and then told Spencer, and then Spencer told me, I like the movie Mickey 17.
Yes.
I don't love it, and there's a lot of stuff about it that I dislike. I don't like the last hour, for instance. I think Bong Joon-ho's English-speaking movies just don't really work as well as his foreign language films. So, you know, when you have something like Mickey 17 that is just so annoying in its last half hour, listen, I hate Donald Trump a lot, but it is extremely annoying to have to listen to a celebrity who's an actor who I don't even dislike do a pretty bad impression of him for the last hour, and it's not just a one-off gag. He is now the main villain. That's just annoying. For me, it was like one of those things I could never put my finger on this. Back to what Connor would say to Spencer, and Spencer told to me. Bong Joon-ho, whenever he wants to do an English-speaking movie, is desperately trying to be Terry Gilliam.
Yes.
Taking inspiration from Gilliam is fine. As I said, I think he gets inspiration, like a lot of people take inspiration from him. But there's only one Terry Gilliam. Just like there's only one Quentin Tarantino, there's only one Martin Scorsese. If your entire goal is to try and be someone else and make a movie in a language that is not your native language, it really just doesn't work. And that is just very frustrating, because I think what's so brilliant about Gilliam is sort of this thing that I don't feel like anyone else really pulls off.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they want to do satire, in reality what they want to do is a farce.
No.
Anchorman is satire, but it's primarily a farce.
Okay.
Like, the whole fucking joke of that. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is not satire, it's a farce. It has certain satirical elements, but inherently with it being what it is, it's sort of a parody. it is a farce on a medieval quest movie. You know, it is a loosely strung together plot designed to put together gags. And, you know, something like the Jabberwocky is really wanting to be satire, but is far too farcical, and the tonal balance just does not work, like, at all. And then, you know, it's whimsical. It's not a farce or really satire at all, and Time Bandits is just fun. Yeah. I think Gilliam, with this movie, struck this perfect balance. He is on a razor's edge of having farcical elements, of having, you know, these comedical farcical elements, these satirical elements. They're doing a lot of social commentary, but also presenting a solution, which satire often does not do. Satire is often there to point a finger at the problem.
Yeah, say fucking nothing matters, life doesn't matter, and then you have to ask yourself, well, why does this fucking show matter?
Yeah.
Click.
And then finally, I think what it does best of all is give you a really compelling story with really compelling characters. Nothing about this is like half-assed, so this razor's edge that the film is constantly walking on never feels like it's winking at the viewer or like cheating the viewer out of something. Something that could so easily just come off as that like nothing really matters is the ending. But the ending feels so earned because to me what the film's plot is communicating up until that point, and seemingly what you were saying, what you think it communicates, is sort of this idea of like his fantasy is consistently about the good guy taking out the bad guy. Yeah. Which is not really what the real world or what this world is portraying is. No. They're living in a dystopian society that is constantly being just pushing you down. Yeah. And the one good thing you can do is like helping someone out. And early in the movie, you know, you have Tuttle coming in and being like, oh, my friends call me Harry and everything.
You wouldn't by any chance, would you?
My good friends call me Harry.
And in his fantasy, when we see it for the first time, he goes like, you know, oh, Tuttle, call me Harry.
You okay?
Tuttle!
Call me Harry.
And you have just this big, over-the-top moment of heroism. And then it all eventually pulls out, and he's lobotomized. Heroism is not the reality of it. Unfortunately, the only way a revolution works is through hard sacrifice. And a lot of times people just don't end up making it. I think the film is more so kind of like a cautionary tale against the idea of glamorizing heroism during a revolution.
There are different stages of a kind of revolution, right? Where fucking a hero does not always like come in and slay the dragon and then fucking and you know the story's over. A hero is often not some guy who lays their life down and defeats the bad guy at the cost of their own life. A lot of times the hero is just some dude who's willing to cut through red tape and be there to help you when you need help.
Yes.
And a lot of times the harder fucking thing about being a hero in that sort of sense and in a real sort of sense is that you have to keep living and continue doing things.
Yes.
Because you can't continue to help if you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where you can't always go in and make the big declarative fucking statement and take out this government or this oppressive leader.
Yeah. Martyrdom can only do so much.
Yeah.
I think a good example of that in film is fucking with Last Jedi. You know, movie. Hey, we love Last Jedi, and if you don't,
our subscriber numbers just all fucking
sounds like a you problem. But you know, Last Jedi, you have this whole fucking moment towards the end where Finn, you know, finally has a cause to believe in after 2 movies of him kind of like being lenient on what he actually believes in, seemingly only sticking with these people because he likes Rey.
Yeah.
You know, finally he believes in something himself.
And his first inclination is to just throw his life away for it.
I'm willing to die at that cause. And then, you know, Rose comes in. It's not about, killing who we hate, but saving what we love.
I was almost there. Why would you stop me?
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
That's a very important thing, and you can't You can't forget about that. When things just seem like they're fucking dark and the world outside of your little bubble is burning and dying and exploding into fucking nothingness, sometimes the only thing you can do is help the people around you and form a fucking community that you give a shit about and that will give a shit about you. And, you know, if there are enough pockets of people like that, when, you know, it's time to go, it'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
You can't mobilize a bunch of individuals. You got to be a group, a family, a fucking something.
Yeah.
Have something to stand for. And that's the most fucking important part about it, I guess.
No, and I think they kind of show the ruthlessness of the people that we're going against.
Yeah.
Specifically super well, just right in the opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have obviously the events leading to the opening where you have this whole fucking advertising campaign about like new ducting that's decorative, and then like a bomb goes off. That gets reported on, and then through the reporting of that, you get the whole fly getting caught in the computer in the middle of this thing that changes the Tuttle over to Buttle on the reporting for who they're going to capture next. And some innocent fucker just ends up getting, like, taken off and then killed later. And that whole fucking sequence just shows the bureaucracy at the only thing that it's efficient with, which is violence.
It's almost like the bureaucracy and the system is built to allow them to do horrific, awful shit like that, while you have to work through endless minefields of fucking paperwork to even kind of try to... Yeah. Oh, what's that? You kind of like... Oh, what's that? The officer shoved you? Well, you're resisting arrest, and you're going to jail forever. Yeah. Goodbye. Get disappeared.
Yes. And then, like, the singular person who cares about this whole situation witnessed the whole thing because they fucking punched a hole through her floor.
We don't make mistakes. Bloody typical. They've gone back to metric without telling us.
And she saw her neighbors just getting absolutely fucking eviscerated during that. And she goes and tries to help. And the first half of the movie, she's literally just trying to get base level paperwork.
And that's viewed as like radical.
Yeah.
And like that. Oh, she's radicalized.
Yo, she's a terrorist.
Yo, she's getting wise.
Yeah, but it's just absolutely fucking insane, and it takes someone from within the system leaving that, and for seemingly at first selfish reasons, trying to get with her before it's a sudden realization of, oh, all of this that I've been a part of is fucked up and corrupt. But like the lesson kind of never properly goes through to him in the correct way possible. I feel like the problem with our main character, Sam, is through and through, the motivation from the inside is never what the other people's motivation is. It's always a little too self-centered.
Yeah.
But even with that, my heart still breaks by the ending. I watched this for the first time, and I found his character to be kind of deplorable for the first, like, 20, 25, 30 minutes.
No.
But I remember getting to that ending, and I'm weeping. Because those final two shots, it's just a knife in the gut.
It's because he was still sincere about his desires and sort of thing. And he seems to be one of very few people who have legitimate, sincere desires in this world. And, watching that get just completely snuffed out is a terrifying thing to see.
Yes. Performances and characters. What did you think about actors in this? Like who were some of your favorite performances out of this?
We've talked at length about Sam. He's very, very good.
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce is fucking great, underrated actor who I don't feel like is in enough.
Can do a little bit of like the body acting, making the whole sequence of him on the truck.
Like, that's fucking fantastic.
But then can also just like look at you in such a way that you're like, Jesus Christ, I've broken your heart. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I really think I got to give it to all of these like side characters, all these side actors who are here for like one or two scenes or a couple of bits.
Robert fucking De Niro, man, is so charming, effortlessly.
Shit. We're all in it together, kid.
Obviously, Ian Holm, who plays his first boss, when he's in not information gathering, but
the other red tape.
Yeah, one of the other Ministry of Information thing. He's just such a slimy little fuck.
He always believes that people should pay more for their interrogation, and B, he loathes me. Frankly.
Get rid of it.
And what are we gonna do about this check? We'll never get rid of it now.
Fake's breaking his hand so he can watch his underling sign a check for him and realize, oh, I've got you for fucking life.
It's no, all these side characters. The lady typing out the fucking
she's dictating the torture sessions.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
The one older woman who ends up as Goop.
Yes. I love Sam, and he's probably like my favorite character, but you know, she's probably like my favorite performance out of everyone. You know, just like, oh, you know, you're sexy, you're attractive. Why don't you just sit back so I can look at you?
Click clack, goodbye.
Damn right.
And I mean, obviously, like set and prop design. We've already talked about the sets, but then there's, of course, the prop that I will spend the rest of my life wanting. I will get it one day. I want that fucking surgical baby mask. So fucking bad. With costumes and everything. You got the gigantic samurai made out of circuit board and computer parts, which is so on the nose, and I do not give a shit. His fucking angel costume's great.
Yeah, the fucking the whole like dream sequences kind of like remind me of like Labyrinth in a weird way, kind of like with the face paint.
So, you know, folks, we usually get here once an episode. Sometimes Tony doesn't seem to like look forward to it, but Tony's musical fucking
The obvious thing that you could very easily take is the use of Brazil, that song, over and over and over again. They really get their fucking use out of the copyright on that one. They hide it anytime that there's like any kind of movement, especially with the bureaucracy, whenever they're fucking on the prowl, on the move, heading towards some shit, when society's moving as intended. You know, you got the guy running through the various maze of hallways, our Minotaur character, who just follows him like a
you know, and it fades in and out on those fucking shots.
And it's interesting how it's used as a motivational theme for our main character at the beginning, but it's sort of like morphs over time into like this haunting fucking thing.
They make it ominous by just having it on lower registers of like the fucking piano scale and shit.
Just underneath something else, like a horror movie sting almost. Second bit of music thing, the literal horror movie stings.
Yes.
When shit is revealed. Like his lobotomy, especially the big one.
Yes.
That's very corny and very cheesy. You could very easily abuse that into the ground and ruin all tension and destroy your fucking film. Yeah. But it's very warranted the couple times that he does it.
Oh, yeah, no, in the horror movie stings, they're very psycho, and he plays sleigh bells underneath them.
Which is fun.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It's using the whole Christmas setting of this movie to sort of comment on like the evils of corporatocracy and capitalism and bureaucracy, and obviously consumers for Christmas, the big fucking sign that the Christian donation people are handing out.
Last little thing in music that, you know, obviously I could just talk about this at end. We could talk about the use of the Brazil theme into the ground. I'm sure loads of people have already done that. One thing that I like is following destruction, following like the failure of this system, there's this very subtle sort of like the two times I noticed it the most prominently is when paperwork is falling. Like the system's failing, everything's falling apart, and the paperwork is falling, like all the information that you had, and it was worth fucking jack diddly goddamn dick. You have like this piano and the strings that are just da 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 da, and just as it's getting down a little low, another instrument will join higher and na 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 na, and it's very like it's whimsical and it's beautiful and it's strange. Because that's kind of like the same thing that a shepherd's tone does. You know how that works, like the Mario 64 thing.
No.
It usually is used as like this very ominous sort of like whatever to shake you out of your goddamn boots. But here it's being used like, you know, snowfall is used.
Yeah.
Kinda
No,
like,
it's Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's sort of that thing like whenever there is a big act of like rebellion against the system, you know.
It's hope.
Him shoving the fucking the two tubes inside of each other if they won't stop shooting paperwork out of him. He causes an explosion that makes the paperwork shoot out of where it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle, everybody.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, no, the use of music in this thing is very, very top tier. It's very good.
Yeah.
They do the thing that I love is you have a handful of things that you really, really like, and you just keep using them and using them and using them to absolute maximum effect every time.
An earlier Liszt movie, the last Liszt in July a couple years ago, very clearly composed by the same guy who composed Die Hard. Mm-hmm. Like that is like very on the, just once again the use of sleigh bells are very fucking similar. Whenever John McClane is fucking walking his way around the hallways and like setting out traps and everything, you got that little ding 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 and everything, and it's the same sort of thing of ring ring ring, and you got the what the fuck.
That's great. It's whimsical. It's beautiful.
It's fucking obviously probably gonna think of some stuff later that I'm like, oh, should have thought of that for the episode, but. It always happens. It's fine, you know.
There's always a conversation after these cameras are all packaged.
You know, obviously we're going to be talking about this movie for years. It's one of my fucking favorites. Any final closing thoughts on this, Tony?
Any final closing thoughts? Jesus Christ. It's just so fucking solid as a film. You know, you mentioned that it's long, and it's long. You can tell it's long, but like it doesn't feel like unwarranted. It doesn't feel like at all like a chore or like a drag. Yeah. It's always difficult to do long movies, especially like specific ones, like in specific genres. Like horror is obviously really hard to keep a horror going and keep a scary thing scary for like 2-3 hours or whatever.
Historical epics are often super long and also unwarranted. I don't know, I feel like the pacing here just never gives up is the thing,
and that's impressive for something so incredibly fucking grimdark and like incredibly you know, like black comedy sort of thing, you know.
And with it kind of being about this like fascist state, the fact that towards the end especially, you know, you get Casablanca got brought up pretty early, and you get the "here's looking at you, kid," which I showed him Casablanca like a couple weeks ago just because I knew it would kind of like tie into all this. And then throughout like the end when a lot of the noir aspects are kind of hitting in, when he's wearing the fedora at the end and everything, and you get all those kind of like sneaking around. It has sort of a very Casablanca vibe. You get those shots with him wearing the fedora where he's like shadowed up against the fucking wall and everything. As you said, it's just really solid, and for me I think like a really solid movie can consistently grow on me to be like, oh, that's like perfect. Like something that you view as solid can sort of, like, you realize, like, oh, is solid, like, sort of an underservice? That's how I kind of always view it. Like for me, I immediately finished, like, Dog Day Afternoon for the first time, which is, like, one of my favorite movies as well. I was like, oh, you know, that's really solid. But the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, that's why it's kind of brilliant, though. That's why it's kind of like a perfect movie, because it knows exactly what it is. And there's a lot packed into this and Dog Day Afternoon, but they're all very focused. This never, I feel like, takes its eye off the ball of who it's targeting. And somehow, once again, has a very just depressing ending. But it doesn't feel nihilistic either.
In a way, it's not so horrifically... there's a very strange connection I've got. A spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't read or seen any of the versions of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Colin, have you finished that by any chance?
No, because it makes me freaked out and I don't want to watch it.
Okay, do you mind if I spoil it for you on camera here?
Sure, I don't care.
Basically, the most of the book is about how this master computer, is torturing the last few people on Earth. He's torturing them and doing horrible things to them and like wiping their memory so they can relive horrors beyond mankind's belief. They're brought to like this cave where there's food for the first time in God knows how long, real food, and it's all in cans, but there's no can opener, so they're all just like fucked. And for a second, there's a chance for everyone to escape. Like there's a brief moment where Anne is not paying attention, and one of our characters can take an icicle and murder everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like he's saving the fucking lot of them from Am. And because Am now only has one thing to toy with for the rest of his immortal days, he's like, I will now fucking strike you with I will make you a fucking gelatin blob that can't just think and feel, and all you will feel is horror and pain and agony for 10 trillion fucking years.
Yeah.
And he's in there, and that's where the line comes from, I have no mouth and I must scream. But in the end, he is kind of won for humanity. He has saved all of humanity from the evils that is Am, and allowing them to escape fucking horrors ad infinitum.
Maybe it's easier for them to accept him being dead than living in a strange kind of lobotomized way where he's escaped in his mind. But to me, I mean, he's actually won. He's won in a strange way. He's free in his mind. And to me, this is the optimistic ending. This is the happy ending. Because the unhappy ending would be killing him. But within those rules, within that society, the only way ultimately he could escape them is by escaping deep inside of his imagination.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm happy you enjoyed this. If you've gone through this whole video and you haven't seen Brazil, watch Brazil. It's available on like several different streaming services. You can go, like I said, just pick up this fucking 4K copy if you have the capability to. Watch the Blu-ray. Blu-ray looks fucking great too. Gilliam fucking deserves it. Put this clip of him, yo fucking Jimbo, yeah.
Next to Brazil, yo fucking Jimbo, yes.
Thank you so much for watching. Next time, another long movie. Let's have fun on my show. Don't know what his is next time. Probably another Whit Stillman movie.
Another Whit Stillman.
Bye.